Hello there, my name is Dan and the main purpose of my channel is to show people how to grow their own fruit and vegetables no matter what size garden, allotment or growing space they do indeed have. So over the last few years I've been working on a partial self-sufficiency project here in Essex, UK. So if you like my work, please feel free to like and share, and if you'd like to be notified of any other videos I put up, please feel free to subscribe. So a big part of partial self-sufficiency, or indeed full self-sufficiency, is the ability to harvest water. So today I'm going to be making a video showing you ways that you can do that. You can see this water butt I've got here. So this is a piece of guttering and you can see the water is coming down there. Now what it is it's on a shed, so you can see the guttering here, and there's a clip here to connect this piece of darker guttering to the fascia board, and simply water just drips down there into the water butt. And you can do this on anything you've got that's got a surface that rain can drip from into a water butt. So you can do this on a shed or a summer house, and I've seen it done on conservatories as well. Now this water butt here has got a tap on it, so what I do is I just simply put my watering can underneath like that, turn it on or open it, whatever, and the water drips down into it. Now you can see it's elevated on a pallet and then some bricks, so this smaller watering can fits like that, but this larger one doesn't. So what you can do is elevate your water butt higher. You can also buy stands for them to stand on. What I should have done really is had this water butt forward a little bit, then I could have fit this under there much easier without having to hold it, but that's just one of those things, and when it's emptied I can move it forward. So you can see this blue water butt here. I think I got this in a garden clearance job I did for somebody. So what you can see here is this tap here, and this needs to be replaced. Okay, so I've got one here, I'm going to do that, and you put it through like that, and this bit you screw on from the other side to make a seal, so hopefully it won't leak. IBC containers are brilliant for harvesting rainwater. So you can see that this has got a tap here. Now with regards to this, it holds about 1 cubic meter of water, so you can get all sorts of valves to put on this. You can get ones that go straight into a hose, you can get ones on pipes, and it's very beneficial actually to have these elevated as well, maybe on things like pallets or tiles, something like that, so you can get a watering can underneath it. And once again, I'll probably do this once this is emptied. So you can buy these new or you can buy them second hand. Make sure you wash it out properly before you use it, okay, because it may have had some things in it that won't be beneficial for you or your plants. So you can see how I've got it rigged up. Now this is a downpipe connector, downpipe interrupter. They're readily available. You can get them off the internet. You can probably find them at the DIY store as well. Make sure it's higher than the IBC container or the water butt that the water's going to drip into. Now this is a piece of 3/4 inch pipe, okay, which fits perfectly onto the downpipe connector, drain pipe connector. Now you can see here I've used a cable tie to connect it to this roof, and then the pipe simply goes into the top of the IBC container. So I've left the top here, and I drilled a hole in the top, and simply there was like a little connector thing there which I drilled through, and you can see that that just then fits in there absolutely perfectly, just like that. Make sure your pipe is secured properly, okay, because in high winds it could blow about. It would be a good idea to use clips or something to connect it. Let's say you're coming from your house, it's going along a fence and then into an IBC container. Make sure that you connect it properly to the fence. You don't want it flapping about. So you can get all sorts of downpipe connectors, different sizes, different shapes, and you can see this one here. This is going into another water butt, and it works in the same way. Now this is another way that I like to harvest rainwater. So you can see my polytunnel here, which is 6 meters long. So some of it has got these flaps on, which actually double up as a, what you call this, a gully, or even a form of guttering, if you will. And the water drips down and into this mop bucket that I've got here, and quite a bit of surface area, and it really does make a difference. You can see some water in there. When it's raining hard, it really does fill up quick. It's quite surprising. Now this is another water butt, if you will, that I've rigged up. So I believe this was actually used in a laundrette or something like that. So I purchased it second hand, and you can see once again I've got a downpipe connector into here like this. So it's quite a big hole in the top. So I've got a bucket in the top to keep it safe, and you can see, here you go, the water's built up quite nicely in there. You can see the water dripping in quite comfortably. So you can see on here there's no tap. I could attach one if I wanted to. Now what they were these screw taps, screw tops, whatever you want to call them, where it was probably connected to something. So what I did was I put a piece of wood in there to block it up, and then I further put some sealant on here. You could use mortar or you could use concrete for this, or indeed I could have looked hard enough and tried to find a cap to screw on it, but that's how it is. So of course the fact that there's no tap on this one means I have to get the water like this using a bucket or a watering can, but this works quite well. The hole's quite big there. I'll put that back in there like that, but I could consider rigging up some sort of thing to lower a bucket into there like that, but long term I may connect a tap and elevate this on a platform like the other water butt you saw earlier on. So you can see this water butt here. Now with regards to these, you can connect these to as many as you wish to, so you could have a whole line of them. You know, you could have 5 or 6 if you wanted more, and this is really good because when one fills, the other one fills. So basically all you've got there is just connects into the water butt like that and just drips along into the next one. So imagine a long line of these, just how much water you could harvest. And a little tip for you, so when you're using an outside tap, maybe you're washing your hands or something when you're gardening, or you're washing some tools or whatever, you know, have a bucket underneath. So let's just say I'm washing my hands now, look like that, that tap's dripping like that, you know, so I'm just washing my hands, but then the water is collecting in the bucket underneath that you don't use, which would otherwise be wasted. So that's a good little hint for you as well. Now with regards to harvesting rainwater, you can be quite imaginative if you want. So what you can do is, let's say you had a piece of this polytunnel from an old polytunnel or something like that, a bit of plastic that the rain won't drip through. You can maybe build like a little table or something like that out of it, you know, with some sort of wooden legs or something like that, whatever you've got. And you could put a hole in the middle of it and put a bucket underneath, and you could collect water like that. That'll just be a really good way of doing it, and reusing other materials that may otherwise go to waste, and it's quite resourceful as well. So you can really get into harvesting rainwater if you want to. So with regards to the IBC containers, you can get connectors to join one to another. You can buy pumps where you can pump water from one area to another. You know, you can really take it as far or not as far as you want to. So of course with regards to this, there is an outlay. So a good thing that you can do is look for second-hand ones on things like Gumtree, eBay, your local shop or whatever, where they maybe still have ads for buying second-hand things. You can look on the internet. So with regards to acquiring things to harvest rainwater, look at it as a long-term thing, okay? Many of you are aware that what I've done here has taken me a fair bit of time, okay? It didn't happen overnight. I've had to save up for things, and if you think you slowly add to it, okay? You start with your bucket for collecting water, you know, and then you can add a water butt or whatever as you go on. So look at it as a slow progress, okay? Don't try and do it all at once, and of course this depends very much on your means. Now with regards to water saving, this is a thing that people can find rather overwhelming, because once again people can go, oh, I want to harvest and I want to water my garden only with rainwater that I harvest. Now of course this depends on the amount that you're growing. Now here in the southeast, okay, the weather can be very, very dry, okay, and you'd very quickly get through water that one has harvested. So maybe that's not an achievable goal at the moment. Now, over time, I've added up to about probably over 2,000 litres of capability for collecting rainwater, but over time, didn't happen overnight, okay. So a goal that I think is very good for people to aim for is the same as I recommend people aim for with regards to growing their own food. Go for 5%, okay, initially. So let's say you achieve 5% the first year of harvesting your own rainwater, and you build up, then you can get to 10%, 15, then you'll get to 50% eventually. Of course, you'll probably then start growing more, so you'll need a bit more. But you understand what I'm saying. Don't intimidate yourself, and don't try and do it all at once. Slowly add to it, because with regards to the pressure on the system of water, etc., it's been on the radio a lot. More and more people are getting into gardening now, and of course people being at home, more paddling pools, etc. But if everybody that could harvested 5% of the water they put on their garden, that could make quite a difference. Okay, a word of warning, make sure you cover your water containers, okay, either with the screw tops that are provided with them, or with something you rig up yourself, like you saw with that bucket I had in the hole of that other drum earlier on, something like that, okay, because if you think of a kid kicking a football into your garden, or a cat walking along your fence and falling in and becoming an ex-cat, okay, we don't want to be going down these roads, do we? So make sure you keep them covered. Now, even with regards to the buckets I have collecting water, I generally don't let them get too deep, okay? I use them, in the polytunnel here, something like that, or I tip them into a water butt to stop the water from getting too high, okay? Another word of warning, okay, with regards to connecting things to downpipes, okay, and things like that, it does require a degree of practicality, if you will. Now, I have connected downpipe connectors before to older downpipes, and the whole thing came off and caused a problem, okay? So take care when you're doing it. If you're not that handy or not that confident or don't think you should be doing it, get someone who can help you, who does know what they're doing, okay? You don't want to be causing yourself loads of damage, which is inconvenient to sort out and potentially costly as well. Just be careful, think and plan and act within your own capability, okay? And I think if you do that, it'll be much better for you. Well, that brings us to the end of today's video. So if you like my work, please feel free to like, share and subscribe, and you can always check me out on Dan_homegardens on Instagram if indeed you are interested. Be excellent to each other. Bonus points for anyone who can comment down below where that reference came from. Thank you very much for viewing, and I'll see you in the next video.